Good morning. Welcome to. We are going to begin kneeling, and I've made a high enough support for under my sit bones. When I put my ankles either side of that support, they're under my hips and my knees are comfortable. So if kneeling really doesn't work for your knees, just sit up tall with your legs out in front. We're going to hold the left wrist with the right hand behind the body and just draw a little more length into your left side. Good, and open the chest and look up. Take some deep breaths. Good, and then swap sides. So hold your right wrist with your left hand and draw some extra length into your right arm. Still feeling really broad across the chest and the shoulders and relaxing your neck. Finding some deep, satisfying breath. If you can feel the movement of the lungs. Good, and then holding the left wrist again with the right hand. Drawing a little bit of extra length in. Good, and then we're going to bend forward and lift the arms away from your back. Top of the head reaches forward. And then inhale. And then swapping wrists. The left hand holds the right wrist. Inhalation. And then as you exhale, reaching forward and lifting the arms away from your back body. Inhale, coming up, one more on each side. Holding your left. As you exhale, reaching forward and lifting the arms. And last side. Hold it right wrist. Exhale to reach forward. And lifting the arms. Good, and then coming up. Feel kneeling for a moment. Take the arms out from the heart or out from the shoulders and Garudasana arm. Right upper arm over the left elbow. Then you might not be able to quite catch hold of your thumb or face your palms there. You can hold your shoulders. Good, we'll keep the shoulder blades down and lifting their elbows and looking up. And then as you exhale, reaching the torso forward over the leg. Good, and then inhale and come up. And releasing the arms. And the second side. Left upper arm over the right. You're not quite catching your thumb. Hold your shoulders. Lifting the elbows. Reaching the shoulder blades down. Feeling nice and relaxed. Looking up. As you exhale, reach the torso forward. Good, and then inhale. And coming back up. And release your arms. Nice work. Just put your hands down. You can put them on your heels or on the floor beside your feet. We're going to swing the right arm up by the right ear and then reach it back behind you and look back at that hand. Good, and then we'll do the opposite side. So the left arm reaches up, swims back behind you. Look back at that left arm. Good, and we'll keep going from side to side. Trying to feel a length in the spine, but an ease in the neck. So be careful you're not overdoing it with the neck, trying to look behind you. Feeling the length in the spine. The shoulders starting to warm up. Feel the openness of the chest, the breath. Good. And the last side. Nice work. Release. And we're going to be in all fours. Turn around so the light is on me. Okay. We're going to take a little forward and back movement, warming up your wrists here. Good. Pick up your right hand. Put your fingertips near your right knee. So you've turned the right hand to face backwards. Good, and you're still going back and forward, and you can really be in charge here of how much stretch your wrists need. If you take your hand further forward, it gets stronger. So you decide what feels good. We still want to feel that forward movement. Great. And then second side. So the left fingertips near to the left knee. But if you're not getting enough stretch in your front wrist, then walk the hand further forward. Try to have your fingers out. Feeling your fingertips pressing. Nice work. Releasing that side. Forward Virasana. Big toes touching and hips are heading back towards the heels. Shoulder blades wide. Good. And then up onto all fours. Take your right arm, put it under your left, and we're going to reach the shoulder, the right shoulder, down onto the floor. Now, it might not reach all the way, and you've got to bend your left arm to reach closer. If it doesn't reach all the way, just go as far as you can. Make sure you keep the sides of your neck really relaxed. Otherwise, you can rest your head down onto the floor. In a way, we want to give in here to the shape of the posture. Excuse me, there's an awkwardness. So we're giving into it. Good, and then release that side. So now it's the left arm and it goes under the right. And we head the left shoulder towards the floor, bending the right arm. Good. And then releasing that side. Knees out wide, toes touching. We'll stretch the arms forward again into forward Virasana. Good. And then bring the elbows down onto the floor and walk your knees back. The further the knees go back, the bigger the stretch this will be for the shoulders. So we'll stretch the fingers out wide, thumbs stretch, and take the chest towards the front of the leg. You feel the influence between the shoulder blades, between the shoulders, keeping the back of the neck long and relaxed. Feel the chest broader, more spacious. Feeling the flow of the breath. Good. and then release and come up into all fours again. Then let's take a spinal wave kind of movement. So you're taking your torso forward and back, and you can bend your elbows, and you determine how much you exaggerate movement. Noticing the whole spine. Each bone moving separately, but working with the other bones of the spine. Good. And then we're going to come up into downward facing dog pose. Start by swinging the hips from side to side. So you've got your heels up high. And as you swing your hips from side to side, can you feel how that lengthens the sides of the waist and even under the rib cage between the ribs and the shoulder blades? See if you can find that influence in your body. Mm. Good. And then coming back to center and bend your knees, but really lift the hips and try to take your sit bones towards the wall behind you. Just letting your head hang down. You're pressing into your fingerprints and the base of the index fingers. Good. And then child's pose. And in child's pose, really enjoying the breath in the back of the lungs, the back of the ribs. Good. And then arms forward, forward virasana. Feel the lengthening of this posture in your middle back. Maybe if you think about the front of the body there, the front of the chest, lengthening, you can feel the bones of the middle back embedding into the front body. And the neck relax. And then we'll come up into all fours again and downward facing dog pose. So pay attention to how you place your hand, where you feel the weight, where you can play around with the weight in your hands and your fingers. Okay, so heels up high, sit bones up high. And again, let's try and get more length into the chest and the armpit. Let the belly, the belly length hollow as you lift your hips higher, as you take the sit bones back further. And breathing deeply. Feel the influence of the breath in the body. We're going to press the heels down now. Lift the kneecaps and the quadriceps. Oh, good work. And we're going to walk forward to the front of the mat using our little tiny steps. So just try to press your heels down with each step. so that we start to stretch the back of the legs. When you feel stuck in your back or your hips, then come up to standing. Definitely get stuck quicker when it's a cold morning. Inhale and come up. Good. And then release. Nice work. Now, we are going to be stepping forward and back and a little bit of balance. So you can have the chair at the front of your mat with the seat facing you. We're also going to be binding the arms, which we're going to do now. And we're going to take the arms behind and just hold where it feels good for your shoulders. So that might be your wrists or forearms. You might even be able to hold your elbows, or even prayer position if that's a doable movement. And we've got the feet under the hips, parallel. Good. Reach the elbows down so that that brings the tops of the shoulders back and down. We're going to look up at the ceiling, make a little back bend, but don't crush your lower back. So really feel nice, strong legs, front of the legs lifting. Good. And then we're going to forward bend. Now, bend your knees a little bit so it's not so intense for your legs or back. And reach the top of the head forward. Even lift the chest a little so you're lengthening the front body again. I'm trying to feel that embedding of the bones of the middle back into the front. Reaching as far forward as you can, the head hanging down, and even try and bring the elbows back and up a little bit towards the ceiling. Good, and then we're going to roll up and release your arms. Take them up, Urdhva Hastasana, look up, and Tadasana. Okay, so now we're going to have the arms bound and step back. So you might need to hold the chair instead of binding your arms. See how you go. Let's take them out from the chest, arms behind into your holding position. Other forearm on top if you can. Good, we're going to step back with the left foot. And what we want to find is feet about hip width distance from side to side and parallel, and the back heel down, finding your balance. When we bind the arms, it is more difficult to balance. You might be discovering that. You can always let them go if you need to. But let's try and really bring the focus into the feet now, into the strength in the legs, the lift of the quadriceps, the lift of the pelvis, the lift of the belly, the lifting of the heart. And look up. Great. And then we're going to forward bend again. We're really trusting the strong leg, the good connection of the feet on the floor. So we bend forward, and then the resistance in the front leg stops us at some point. Let's bend the front leg so we take that out of the equation. Keep reaching the belly further forward, the chest further forward, looking further forward. Reach your chest as far over the front thigh as you can. Try to take the elbows back. Even lift them a little from your back. Good. And then see how you go straightening your front leg without losing that lovely range of motion we found for your torso. And we're breathing. And the stretch that we encounter might be very strong, very challenging. Find the calmness of the breath. Good. And then we're going to lift up, bend your front leg. We're going to step forward and balance, but we're going to try and keep the arm bind behind. So if you need to let go of your hands, you can, of course. But just see how you go balancing on your right leg, but with your arms down. So your left tiptoes come in front. Either they're on the floor lightly or you lift your leg up high. Good, and then releasing. Another little extra challenge. Feet underneath the hips. Bring the arms out from the chest. Take your arms behind you, bind your arms in the other direction, the other forearm on top. And this time we're stepping back with the right foot. So we want the biggest distance front to back so that your back heel is still on the floor. Finding your feet to be parallel, to be grounded. Feeling the strength in your legs as you lift the front of the thighs, especially the right hip bone. Trying to lift up there, lengthen the belly, lift the breastbone, looking up. And then we're going to fold forward, folding at the hip crease, lengthening the belly, lifting the breastbone. Finding the resistance in the front leg. And once you find that, your limit, then bend the front leg. And keep reaching the torso longer, out in front. Good, and then we're going to keep lifting the breastbone, looking forward. Take the elbows back from the ears, even lift them a little from your back. Strong leg. Resilient leg. See how you go straightening the front leg. Nice work. See if you can keep your arms bound as we lift up. You can always let them go if you really need to. Lift up, step forward, and balance onto the left leg. Whoa. Much harder to do than when the arms are loose. Good, and then releasing that side. And we're going to release that arm. Turn the palms out, the upper arms out. Tadasana. Great. Take the arms up. Urdhva Hastasana. Uttanasana. You can either put your hands on the seat of your chair here or down onto the floor. Now, what I want you to do is either walk your hands forward or your feet back so that your sit bones stay over the line of your heels, but you get your arms as far forward as they'll go. And try not to let the shoulders squash in towards your ears. So keep lots of space between your shoulder blades and the collarbone. Maybe you are up on your fingertips. You can try flattening your hands out. Breathing deeply. You find the sensation of the posture. The big stretch in the legs. The lift of the kneecaps. The lengthening and easing of the spine. Good. And then release your hands so you can roll up. And arms up. And then release. Okay. Inhale, arms up. Looking up. Good. Bring your arms behind you. Take a different hold this time. We're going to bring the palms together and interlock the fingers and stretch the knuckles down. Good. We'll step back with the left foot. Now, we want a bigger distance front to back, so wiggle your feet a bit further apart. The back heel won't be on the floor, but really press it down. And we're going to bend the front knee. So it's a variation on the warrior one pose, but we've got the arms behind, and we're going to reach the knuckles down. And as you reach the knuckles down, you'll feel that the front of the body lengthens. And we're looking up. Good. Keep the back heel pressing down. The legs feel anchored. Reach your torso out and over your front thigh. And then lift your hands up from your back. Take the knuckles back. Lengthen the sides of the neck. Reach the top of the head forward. Good. Let's see if we can keep the hands bound and step forward and balance. So we're going to lift up, step forward, try to balance on your right foot, left foot in front. You can reach your knuckles down as you lift the leg, left leg. Ooh. Good. And then release that side. It's a whole other one. Good. Let's take the arms behind and interlock the fingers the other way. Good. Stretching the knuckles down. Take the right foot back this time. So we want a nice big distance front to back. And your back heel probably won't be on the floor because we're going to bend the front knee. But keep the back leg really straight. Try to take the knuckles as far from the ears as you can. Even lifting them a little away from the pelvis, or less weight against the pelvis. And feel how the front of the body lengthens as you reach the knuckle. Okay, strong foundation. And then we're going to reach the torso forward. And as you reach the torso forward, you're going to find that you can have room to lift your hands away from your back. Knuckles back from the ears, and you're looking forward. Good work. We're going to try and keep the arms bound if you can, or the hands bound, and lift up. Of course, you can always let them go and step forward and balance. Reaching the knuckles down, lifting them away from your back, lifting the right leg. Good, and then release. We're going to turn the upper arms all the way out and the palms out. Tadasana. Ooh. Finding the feet. Good, and then we're going to come down to sitting, however that works for you. For 1 second while I have a drink of water. Find your seated position. I'm going to sit sideways so you can see, but sit on your mat so you can see your device. Up onto a blanket. We want the sit bones just back behind that front edge of the blanket. get a little bit of a tipping forward of the pelvis to help you with lifting the spine. Put the legs out in front. Now, the left foot is going to go under the right leg, and I'm bringing the left knee, so it's sort of in the center line of the chest. And then my left heel is in the direction of my right hip, just leg is resting. Okay, then we want to take the right foot and bring that in the same arc on that side. So some people are going to be able to get it near their knee, some people a little bit beyond, and others maybe even all the way up to the outside of the left hip. Good, and then we're going to take the left arm up and reach that hand down behind your head, down behind your neck, in between your shoulder blades. And we often have restriction in the shoulder. So use your other hand and you're going to try and just wiggle nicely in your shoulder to get a little bit more room. Feeling the fluid of the body, the joint. And we're trying not to push the neck here. So aware of the breath and the length of the spine. So once you've got as much movement in that direction as you can, release your right hand, take it behind you, and you're going to try and touch your fingers together or hold your hand. So I can't reach on that side. So what I'm going to do is hold my jumper. I'm going to keep trying to move the elbows towards the center line of my body. Garudasana. So check in with your neck. Keep an even length front to back. Breathing deeply. Good. And then release that side. Nice. And then we're going to take the legs out in front and do the opposite. So this time the right foot goes under the left knee. And we wiggle the foot as far as it will go in that direction so that the right knee is lining up with the center of the front of the body. Good. And then your left foot, we try to do the same thing on the opposite side. So if you can get it near to your knee or over the side of the knee, and then keep moving the heel until you find your limit of movement. Good. And then we'll take the right arm up by the right ear and reach your hand down behind your head, behind your neck. Try to reach to your shoulder blade. Good. And then you've got your other hand free at the moment to help you. So let's try and feel that shoulder joint, the ribs, the movement entailed here to be fluid. To have potential, that you don't feel stuck. Good. So reach the hand down as far as you can. And then we want to keep the front and back of the neck even. Good. And then left arm out. Reach out beside you and then reach that hand up behind you. And maybe you can find your fingertips, which I can do on this side, or hold your clothing. But we're going to try and move the elbows towards the center line of the body. Find the breath in the body, allowing an ease into the joints. Even though it is all challenging and awkward, Find the calm connection to the breath. Good. And then releasing. Nice work. Let's see, we're going to lay down now. And you don't need your blanket unless you need it over you this cold morning. All right. Feet hip width parallel legs. We're going to take the hips up, but we're going to use the arms as well. So the arms are going to go overhead. Need space for that. Now you're going to keep your arms overhead, but lower your spine back to the floor. Notice at what point there's some resistance around the upper body, the shoulders, the chest, and feeling what that is, and then relaxing the spine. Now, once you've relaxed your spine back to its normal shape, then release your arms. Good. So we're going to do that again. So you're going to lift your hips, lift the bones of the spine, and lift the arm. And take the arms overhead onto the floor. Nice strong legs here. Press your feet, lift the thighs, squeeze the buttock. And then lower the bones of the spine. Try to go from the top and try to go bone by bone. And we're trying to feel that lovely fluid nature of the joint. Good. Thinking if there's some sense of resistance in the upper back, maybe. And then once you relax your back, take your arms back down by your side. Good. And one more of those. A nice big, powerful lift of the hips and take the arms overhead. Great. And then we lower down. And once you've got your spine back to its natural form, it's releasing your arms as well. Right. Let's do a really mini bamboo pose. So I'm not even going to get the blanket, but just bring the knees into the chest and cactus arms for a moment and see if you can straighten your legs. If there's too much work in your belly or back, just put your feet back on the floor. Oh. Just noticing in the front of the body if there's any way you can let go of tension. Especially around the heart, the chest, the breastbone, shoulders. Relaxing your neck. And then release. We're going to put the arms straight out from the shoulders and the feet back down on the floor. A little bit of a twist now. Inside edges of the feet together, knees. Lift your hips and swing them left and knees go right. And let's use the core of the body to keep the feet and the knees just off the floor. You're going to look over the left shoulder. And feel that warming warmth. And stretch out through the arms with the fingertips trying to get further from each other. You feel the chest forward and the movement of the ribs and the lungs. Good, really aware of the core of your body as you bring the legs back up to center. Lift your hips, swing them right, and knees are going to go left. And we're going to engage the core of the body, just lifting the knees and the feet off the floor, but really reach from the heart to the fingertips. Mm, beautiful. And then coming back up to center. Hugging your knees in. And you might be able to stay in your own Shavasana. Thank you. And if you need to finish your practice, like I do, and rolling to your side, sitting for a moment with your hands in front of your heart, appreciating yourself and how you feel. Namaste.